But before you can even get to the boss fight, you of course have to do the main Easter egg, and there are several incredible tricks to make some of the hardest steps for solo a lot easier. And one of the main time-consuming parts about this Easter egg is of course waiting till round 10 to get your first stamp to start building the swords, but there is so much that you can do before you get to round 10. So first tip to maximize your time is between rounds 1 and 7, stay in the spawn room and turn on the rampage inducer. That way you can blitz through rounds and get between 10 and 13,000 points to then be able to open up the map, activate Pack-a-Punch, and then talk to Gabriel Craft in the dungeon to start the Easter egg. Now while waiting for round 10, you can go ahead and get all 4 of the ritual items on this round, as the horseshoe will always be there in the barn that you can shoot on your way to Pack-a-Punch, and from there use the cannon and then pick up the upgraded horseshoe. There's a huge time skip for the Raven where you don't have to take the sewer fast travel, and instead if you throw an explosive or use an explosive weapon towards the top left of the sewer from the spawn, you can actually shoot the Raven so that it will fly out the sewer, and then in the sky you can shoot it down to get the Raven ritual part without any fuss. You can of course also do the crystal step in the Knight's room to get the brooch before round 10, and if you spawned in with a Molotov or have the salvage, you can begin throwing those at the 3 locations to get Ra's Ang. But another tip is you can use the charged fire sword to light these up as well. And you can also charge all of the ritual items in order to spawn in the boxes for the incantations before round 10 as well, as each of these full soul boxes spawns in completely new zombies are not part of the round. So you should be able to get all 4 incantation boxes to spawn before you start working on a sword. Now when it comes to building all 4 elemental swords, there aren't really any time skips, but if you do start the game with a shock charge in your loadout or by crafting one, you can throw it on the fuse box for the lightning rod in the upper village, bypassing the need for you to waste your salvage buying dead wire and putting it on a weapon. And once you have the basic version of the stag sword, the moment you make your way into the dungeon by quick revive, you should have the armored zombie with that final lightning rod on within 15 seconds of being in that room, guaranteed. Another big time saving tip is that as you are upgrading each sword and you get the upgrade, make sure to run past the incantation box and to melee it to reveal the associated incantation, so you have that set up for the rest of the game as you're doing each sword. That way it saves just a little bit of extra time, but you don't have to go and pick up each sword and run over to the box just to put the sword back. One of the biggest time saving skips in this entire Easter egg, and one that you want to do every single game from now on, is that you can skip the entire symbol wall matching step in the tavern. This is an absolute game changer and makes future runs of this Easter egg so much quicker and easier. Founded by Scotty Dog 007, the placement of the 4 pages in the sitting halls determines the order of your trap. Now I've gone ahead and made this map graphic that shows you the order in which the page locations correlate to what trap you activate in what order. So the page that you find first, as you see on this map, is going to correlate to the page that's at the far back just behind the sitting rooms on these sets of boxes. If you pay attention to the specific icon on the page here, that icon is going to match the first trap that you need to activate. The second page is going to be in the bunk beds, either on those bunk beds or tables, and the icon you see on that page is going to be your second trap. Your third trap that you're going to activate is going to be the icon on the page that's on the TV or on the sofa, and your fourth and final trap icon is going to match the page that is in the hallway. If you note down all 4 of these page icons in order from 1 to 4, that will tell you which traps you need to activate. And another amazing tip and trivia is that power trap in the sitting halls with stamina up is always going to be your last trap. So realistically, you only need to note down the 3 pages in that order and those symbols, as your final power trap will always be in stamina. And to save a bunch of time, you should also activate these power traps whilst working on each sword upgrade. You don't need to have all the swords done before you do this step. You can do this step at any time in the game. You just need to make sure that you have enough points to activate all 4 and to have enough zombies to complete each trap. Now another massive tip in this Easter egg comes once you've completed all 4 sword upgrades and the incantations, as you have to do the Mystic Orb challenges. And I've seen a little bit of confusion with the first one in the dining halls and how to complete it. In order to complete this, you simply just need to run through all of the green orbs that spawn around the dining hall. That's literally it. You don't even have to take out any zombies if you don't want to. Another huge tip that no one's realized when it comes to each of these Mystic Orb challenges is that all of the orbs are actually tied to a specific element, with the first one in the dining hall being tied to the light mend ammo mod, meaning that you can also complete this by killing zombies with light mend on your weapon. But then when it comes to the other Mystic Orb challenges, you are also able to use the incantation that is also in each arena. So for the one in spawn being lightning, you can complete this using the lightning incantation, but you can also complete this by literally using the dead wire ammo mod, and any kills that proc with that ammo mod are lightning, which translates to the element that the mystic orb wants you to use in that challenge, also adding progress to completing the challenge quicker and easier. Now, you can also use the sword that is associated with each of the elements within each of the challenges, but it will only work if you use the ultimate ability of the sword to track the kills. So you can use the fire mod, fire incantation, and fire sword in front of the castle, dead wire, the lightning incantation, and the lightning sword all in the spawn. And then in the Undercroft, you can use the Shadow Rift ammo mod, as well as the dark incantation and the void sword. Now, throughout this Easter egg, once you've unlocked the incantations for lightning or fire, whenever you come across a Ghoulghast or an amalgam, if you use either of those incantations on it, it will be an instant kill, making you not have to worry at all about these enemies when they spawn in during a round. It is absolutely incredible. Now, this next tip isn't essential, but if you are doing the Easter egg in co-op, then I advise it because the rewards are substantially better than solo. Down in the Undercroft, there is a Easter egg tied to that wall that you reveal with the symbols in the tavern that you then use to reveal the book and to attach the pages to the book. If you go ahead and use every single of the 4 incantations on the wall of symbols, on the 4th incantation, it will activate a 3-phase lockdown where you'll be trapped inside of the Undercroft and you'll have to survive 3 waves of zombies, which is very easy, not a challenge at all. There is no specials that spawn, no elites. And once complete, you'll be given a random free perk as well as one of every ammo mod on solo, but in co-op, the rewards seem to be so much better where you get pack-a-punch crystals, legendary ether tools, and even free ray guns, and could be the perfect pre-boss fight thing that you do in the map before you go to the boss. But now that you've completed every Easter egg step, the only thing left is the boss fight. And I have 2 methods to show you that will make this boss fight incredibly easy. The first being the easiest method to complete the boss legitimately, and another method which is the ultimate cheese. And we'll start with the legitimate method. So like I said at the start of the video, spawning in with a power drill, at this point you want to make sure you have the power drill legendary rarity and you've upgraded it double pack-a-punch. You don't actually need to get it to triple pack-a-punch because there is a damage cap on the boss, so it can't actually do any more damage, and the double pap is more than enough. You'll want to make sure that you have all perks, including melee macchiato and vulture raid, because the major augment will allow you to recharge your field upgrade faster in the fight. And to make taking out zombies and elites in the fight even easier, to run the GS45 akimbos and dual wield at tier 3 pack-a-punch with legendary rarity. If you're running those, you'll obviously want to have PhD flopper equipped as well. Before activating the boss, you want to make sure that you have a full ether shroud ready to go. And once inside the boss fight, the moment that you see the Guardian's health bar appear, pop your ether shroud with your drill out and immediately just start meleeing his foot. And with the espresso augment on for melee macchiato, you should be able to melee him enough times whilst in this fully to the point where he'll have the immune symbol appear and the first phase will already be complete. During this, you'll have a ton of zombies that will spawn in as well as a Ghoulghast, and your job is to try and take them out as quickly as possible using either your drill, your GS45 pistols, or whatever else you chose to bring in. But if you have the vulture raid augment on, zombies will drop yellow gas. If you stand in and then take out zombies, it will recharge your field upgrade quicker. So at this point into phase 2, you should have your field upgrade fully recharged, ready to go. If not, just train around the arena taking out all the zombies that are spawning just to get your field upgrade charged a little bit more so you can activate it. And then when ready with your power drill out, pop your ether shroud and continue to melee the boss in the foot. And once ether shroud is ended, you should have done enough damage to be put at the end of phase 2 and be ready to take down more zombies. But in the case that that hasn't happened, it's always worth bringing in a power keg gobblegum or a raindrops gobblegum so you can drop a full power so you can continue to melee him again if you didn't do enough damage. After phase 2, it's going to be very similar to the phase 1 where you're just going to have a ton of zombies that are going to spawn in, and your job is to take them out and recharge that field upgrade as quickly as you can. Once the bosses re-emerge for the final phase, again with your power drill out, go ahead and pop your ether shroud and continue to melee the feet. And at this point, you should be getting a lot more critical hits, and you should be able to take the entire boss down during that ether shroud nice and easily. But if it does run out, you only have a few more melees until the boss will be done. So don't risk it too much, but try to get those extra hits in when you can, and you should have beaten the boss fight, no worries at all. Now, depending on when you're watching this next method might already be patched by Treyarch, but currently there is a very cheese method where you can make it so the boss never attacks you, and in order to do this, you need to equip the Idolize Gobblegum. Once you've activated the boss fight in the spawn room, wait until the boss gets to the part in his animation where he stamps his hand on his chest. At that point, immediately pop the Idolize, and once you're brought into the boss fight itself, your Idolize will quickly run out, but when it does run out, you'll notice that the boss will still be stood in place and he won't be attacking you. Zombies will still be attacking you and you won't be invisible to them, but for some reason the boss will be unable to leave that middle platform and he won't attack, meaning you can take him down with anything you want, with the pistols, any weapon, and the power drill to make this even easier. Now, in my personal opinion, this kind of takes out all the fun and the challenge of the boss, but if you are having a very bad time with this and you really just want to get the completion before the directed mode releases, then this is a method that you can use. Following all the tips in this video, you should not only have an extremely easier Easter egg run experience, but also have a much more pleasant boss fight experience. If this video helped in any way, then please let me know in the comments. And if you did learn something new as well, then be sure to drop this video a thumbs up to help support it in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to see even more tips for Citadel Day more, including the full Easter egg guide, the best weapons to use against the boss, then check out these videos on your screen right now.